So Yeshua, or Jesus as you guys call him, wore strands of blue, twisted strands of blue on the outskirts of his garment. I'll show you mine. Mine are purple and blue. But basically it's just twisted blue on the fringes of your garments. He wore them so that he could remember the commands. There's the command inside of the commandments. It says, remember these commandments and do it every time you get up and you can go away. Teach it to your children, keep it on your heart, etc. Bind it on your forehead and your wrists, etc. And so when the woman with the issue of blood came up to him and pulled on the hem of his garment, as you recall the verse says, that was actually his tzitzits. So she came up and pulled on the hem of his garments. So it's a reminder to keep the commands, and it's a reminder every day. And then there's a verse in Numbers that says, so that the nations know you're not a whore. Wow, okay, so that you're not whoring after other idols. You're not whoring after other gods. And when I got an interview with a very prestigious aerospace company to be working on components for military craft, for private sector craft, it was a really good money. And they said, yeah, we only work 410s. We work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Is that okay? And I said, well, and I kind of explained to him, who I am and where I'm coming from. And I said, I'll work for you 80 hours a week. I just can't work on one day. And what day is that? That's on Shabbat. That's on Sabbath. That's on Saturday in our language, English. That's the day. And we had a back and forth. And he says, well, I can't offer you this job. I said, it's because I keep the commands, isn't it? He says, because you won't work on Saturday. I said, that's the fourth command. That's the fourth command. And it's more important. And I said to him, sir, I will never covet your wife. I'll never murder you. I'll never steal from you. I'll never lie to you. I'll never dishonor your parents, and I'll never dishonor the Sabbath. And he was real quiet, and he said, thank you, goodbye. And that was it. But you know what? If you sacrificed your integrity, if you sacrificed your moral code, you're going to do it again and again and again. If you compromise once, you're going to compromise twice. Keep compromising, and you're going to live a disastrous life. And you know what? I think that God honors my decision to not disobey him for the money. I'm not a whore. Remember, that's what the Bible verse says. So that the world will know you don't whore after other idols. And I don't serve both God and mammon, as the verse goes. I serve just God. So you can love God and use the money, or you can love the money and use God. It's one or the other, basically. Have a good day.